Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Save Your Sanity summer series. Now, I'm loving on this series because summer is coming and we as moms have to be ready. And so for the next 15 days until the end of June, I am going to be sharing my the best tips that I can possibly share with you every day right here live on this page. So thank you so much for being here in order to get us all ready for summer as moms. Are you ready? Today I'm going to share with you the rules, the guidelines for summer per se. Now our children are creatures of habit. They need to continue with that habit once school is out, and it doesn't need to be camp chaos in the house this summer. Hi, everybody. I'm Laurie Joy, the Mojo Mama, and I help moms turn their shit shows into their mojo. And I'm just loving on this series because not only do I get to share some tips with you, but if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a keyword to punch into the comments. And when you do, I'm going to send you a free resource. Yesterday, it was an amazing checklist. Today, it's going to be a guideline. And you can get it instantly once you type in the word in the comments, and I'm going to send it right to you. And then at the very end, if you are a committed mama to having the best summer of your life, then I am going to share with you a way that you can not only have a great summer with your family, but have the best summer for you, mama. Yes, it's all about you. Really, it is. It's all about you. So again, thank you so much for joining me either here live or on the replay. I'm excited to have you. Let's get into it. Today we are going to talk about summer guidelines. And I don't like to use rules per se, but this is really what it is. Now think about it. Our children have been in school since September, and they have been creatures of habit. They get up at the same time roughly. They start school at the same time. They are delivered their curriculum in school at the same time. They eat their lunch at the same time. They come home at the same time. They get on the bus, Gus, at the same time. Everything is routine. They've been involved in extracurricular activities. And so why when all of a sudden school is out, do the guidelines, the routine, the habits have to end? Now, I know summer is a wonderful time for us to get together as a family, to do a little bit of traveling, perhaps, maybe have a staycation. And also, though, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be crazy. So I'm going to talk to you about 4 elements today. And then I have a beautiful printout, like a reference sheet that you can get if you just stick around. All right. So the first thing is, let's talk about time on technology. Let's talk about being bored. Let's talk about having some quiet time. Amen to that. And let's talk about the snacks meals, the perpetual snacks and meals that happen. So time on technology. You'll notice that in schools, depending on the age of your children, if they're in school yet, and the studies that go out, that a lot of technology or time on that technology is not good. And I'll tell you from being an educator and professor for, the last 20 years, that even though kids know how to use the technology, they're not experts at it, okay? So we think kids know more than we do. No, they know how to use it, but they don't know how to leverage it. And they're actually sometimes it's scary what they put out there. And we've seen that happen. So time on technology is key. So because they have more free time and because they're at home, why is it that they would be having more time on that technology? It shouldn't be happening. But let's set up the guidelines and the rules for summer before school is out. So it's not a mad rush for get off there, don't be on there, you can't have the iPad, you can't have the system, you shouldn't be doing that, you can't be watching TV, whatever it is, let's just set it up nice and easy. And this guideline is going to show you exactly how to do that, okay? Let's set it up and then let's go forward so that it's not a mad rush and a mad dash when the kids get out of school and you're like freaking out. So let's make some boundaries around time on technology. Will there be certain times in the day when your child can be on their system? Will it be maybe just on the weekend where they can be on their iPad or their phone or whatever it may be? Will there be only a certain time? And then if you, the parent, wishes for them to have more time, you'll allow it, but there will be no discussion around it. So I think that at the beginning of the summer to sit down and talk about the guidelines that are going to be happening this summer so that there's no freakouts, there's no untold expectations, there's no craziness around it. Everybody will be on the same page and loving it. So now our children often will say to us, I'm bored, right? When in school, they are on a constant, right, or daycare, or if they're home with you, they are on a constant routine of being entertained, right? Now, I have an only child, and so often it's my husband and myself sometimes playing and entertaining with him. It would be, sometimes we joke about how it would be great to have a sibling so they could play together, but that doesn't always happen. But I think what happens, or what we can instill in our children this summer, which would be wonderful, is the fact that it's okay to be bored. It's okay. I think I've been bored in my lifetime, and I'm sure, Mama, you have been bored in your lifetime, and it's all right. And sometimes in this particular day and age where our children are growing up, there is this expectation to always have this instant gratification, this instant response, right? So it doesn't have to be that way. It's okay to be bored, right? And I think what I'm going to show you in subsequent days, so there are going to be days that are coming up that are just designated to being bored. I have lots of things that you can do. But what I really want us to start to think about is, what is your response going to be when you hear I'm bored? And then what is their responsibility in sharing in that, right? So why is it that when they are either at home now with you for the summer, or if they're at a day camp, or if they're home with you after the day camp, that they will sit around, because it's going to happen. It's great and it's joyous when they're first out of school, but when they're with you all the time, all of a sudden it's going to be the I'm bored. So now let's put some responsibility on our children to figure out, what is you going to do when you have some downtime, right? Why is it that what I don't want to perpetuate, and what I'm trying to get across here, is that you as the mom or you as the parent do not have to be the three-ring circus, the entertainer all the time, the one who comes up with suggestions. Part of, right, being a responsible young child growing into a responsible young adult is problem solving. And so this is a great opportunity for you this summer to enlist this skill in your child. Now, there will be things that I will give to you, and like I said, in subsequent days, that we can help our children. But I want us to, know that the response is going to be, well, what is it that you want to do? If you're bored, my dear, find something to do, right? So often if my son asks me, what am I, Mama, I'm bored, what can I do? I always try to turn it around on him so that he can take some responsibility in that learning. And that is what we want to instill this summer, all right? Boundaries, skill sets, building on that so that we are not in camp chaos ourselves. Now, one of the things I think I talk about a lot in my course and in my masterminds and my trainings that I do with my moms is quiet time. Now, you might think, girl, you're crazy because there is no time for quiet time in my house. But that is not true. Again, it's all about setting up expectations in your home. You are the parent. You're the boss, okay? And sometimes you don't have to rule with a heavy hand or a big hand, But what you want to do, right, is to make sure that you have this particular quiet time. So what I suggest that you do is maybe designate that every day at some point in the day, and again, it depends. Are your children toddlers? Are they just grade school? Are they high school? Whatever it may be. When are you going to have some quiet time for everyone involved? And there are multiple reasons why this is so good, but let's start to talk about how we're going to put that boundary of quiet time up and then what they can do with it. So often after supper, quiet time happens at my house, just for the mere fact that we're all in the same house together, and that's wonderful. But we want to make sure that everybody is having that downtime. Because think about it. Your child gets up in the morning. They are rushing through breakfast. They are rushed off to school. In school, it's very rushed. They are doing things all the time. They are outside, inside, snack, recess, work, whatever it may be. They come home, whether that's on the bus, whatever, they get home. Often they are rushed off to extracurricular activities or whatever it may be, and they never get the chance to just sit. And sometimes they think that just sitting, there's something wrong, right? Again, we hear that I'm bored, which I just talked about before. But the fact of the matter is that being in rest, being in a state of, not rushing, being relaxed, having that downtime is really important for our children. I've just learned this skills through practicing my own meditation practice. Not to say that we have to do meditation at the time, but it would be a great idea. And then sharing that with my 7-year-old son, right? So that he has time to be quiet. So after dinner, when all of us are home and it's camp chaos and it settles down and maybe we don't have a extracurricular activity to rush to, we will often have quiet time. Now, depending on the age of your child, you can figure out how much time it is that you want to have for quiet. Excuse me. So, for example, I will say till the timer goes off, everybody gets to do what they want quietly. So often what I will do is I will model for my son what it is that he can do during this quiet time. So sometimes I will read a book very quietly of something that I enjoy. So I'm modeling that for him. Sometimes I will go outside and maybe fix up the yard or do some gardening or do some work just quietly. Sometimes I will read a magazine. Sometimes I will journal in a book. So all of these things, I try to model different options for him. He has never, ever, ever asked once, well, what do you want me to do during quiet time? Everybody has to find something. My husband will model something as well. And then everybody has that moment. And it's wonderful because it doesn't have to be a continual shit show in your home all the time, right? And just because we're home for summer doesn't mean that our habits or that our skills or that our routine has to end. Now, it may be disjointed because we're off traveling or we're out doing other things, and that's fine, but you can have quiet time anywhere, right? You can be on the road, you can be in the car, you could be at the hotel, you could be wherever, and everybody can still enjoy in that time. Now, you want to teach them to be independent and also intentional with their time. This is one of the main reasons why I enjoy quiet time in our house. Now, we have a small family of 3, and you might think as a mom of multiples that this is going to be crazy. It's all about what you teach and all about what you show, okay? So it may not be the perfect quiet time to start, and that's okay. Right? We've been doing this for a number of years, and so it's now become a nice, beautiful routine, okay? So if you want the download of everything I'm talking about today, all you have to do is type download in the comments, all right? And I will send this to you. So all of the tips that I'm talking about, you don't have to take notes. You don't have to worry about rushing around and finding a pen. just type that in there and I will send it to you, okay? And if you have any questions while I'm here doing it live, make sure you type those in the comments as well. Now, snacks and meals. I put actually up a post, just a random post a couple of days ago, and it showed, you know, when kids are at school and when they're home for summer, it seems that every 5 minutes they're like, can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? And then they eat a meal. Can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? And it can really drive you crazy. And sometimes you could be thinking, what do I even give them for a snack? So the wonderful thing about school ending is that you still have all of those foods that you put in their lunch, right? And you're probably going to have to continue, obviously, to get them. This is what I do. I stock up with all of the favorites, and I have them in the cupboard. But then there is something that I do with them. And again, I involve my son in this process. So again, it's not always about me serving him. Because I often say, some of my favorite sayings are, Cinderella doesn't work here, right? So everybody has to clean up after themselves, right? And I am not a short order cook or a snack deliverer, okay? So this isn't going to happen. It doesn't happen while school is in. It's not going to happen when school is out. And so one of the things that maybe you can do is have them in charge of their snacks. So if you cut up a bunch of vegetables, keep them in a small bin in the fridge, make it accessible again to them if they're old enough, right, to reach and go in there. Or sometimes in my cupboard, I will have just a bin from the dollar store, and I will put a number of things that he can choose from, and he can go in there and grab them at his leisure. He might say, Mom, can I have a snack? And I'll say, yeah, go to the pantry or go to the fridge and grab whatever it is that you want, okay? So this is a great way to kind of set the boundaries, set your goals, set your intentions for summer. I love to do this beforehand. And what you could even do is sit around the dinner table and everybody comes up with what they think is fair. What do they think is fair for the time on technology? What are we going to do as a family when there's that downtime and you're bored? What would you all like to agree upon for quiet time? When and how long? And then again, setting that routine up for your snacks and your meals, which is amazing, right? And then you can ease into summer, right? And you don't have to be someone who's continually serving them. You don't have to be someone who's continually disciplining them. It's all about routines. But I love having this done at the beginning of the summer, which we still have a chance to do. And if you want the free download that explains everything here, okay, all you have to do is type download in the comments and I will send that to you. Now, summer is a wonderful thing for everyone involved. I love summer. It means the weather is nicer. We're getting outside more as a family. We're doing things. We're traveling. We're visiting people that we haven't seen in a year. It's a wonderful time, but it's also a chaotic time for you as a mom, especially if you were at home with your children during the day. And here at the Mama Mojo, I am all about taking care of you as a mom. And so one of the things that I love to do, and we're having the second annual now here, coming up at the end of August, is gather a group of beautiful souls, beautiful women who are committed to changing their own shit show into their mojo and coming together and spending a weekend to now elevate you, the mom. Because it's wonderful that we have all of these tips that are going to happen for the next 14, 15 days until the end of June that are going to help you with your children and get your household and everything ready for summer to come. That's amazing. But where in your time in the summer are you taking care of you? And so I want to invite you to check out and see if it's right for you my Mama Mojo meetup, which is happening at the end of August, the last weekend of August, and it's happening in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. A beautiful, beautiful spot. And now I'm not taking you away from your family for a whole week to a beautiful sunny destination, because a lot of moms, let's be honest, we don't have the time to get away for an entire week. And when we do, we probably want to bring our family along. And I'm not asking you for a mortgage payment to get you to this place and to spend these, a week with you there. All I want you to do is to commit to a Friday night, an all-day Saturday, and a half a day on Sunday. And literally, if you're in the area, you could send your kids off to whatever you're doing on Friday, drive or come fly in to the meetup, the wine and meet and greet, at Friday on Friday night. Spend the Saturday with me. Learn how we are going to take care of you, because we know as moms, if we don't take care of us, we are useless to anybody else. That old adage of putting on the mask on the plane first and then helping someone beside you is an old adage, but it's so true, because you cannot help or be there for anyone else in your family if you are not taking care of yourself. And now this is something I really try to instill in a belief in moms, because this is really hard for us to do. This is really hard for us to think about taking ourselves away for the weekend, taking ourselves away from our families. But if you don't refill your cup, per se, you will not be the best mom that you can be. And the reason I have this at the end of August is that for a number of reasons. One, you're exhausted by the end of the summer. When Staples comes on with their video, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and they sing that Christmas song at the end of August, because it's true. Your kids are going back to school and they're out of your hair, right? But do you know that from September to December, you could have the most life-altering, most shifting moments of your life as a mom after spending a weekend with me? Now, you will see lots of posts that I'll be putting up about the Mama Mojo meetup. It's very affordable. We're in downtown Calgary at a beautiful hotel, which has given us an amazing rate. You can bunk up with other mamas. I have a private page for you. I'm going to be taking very good care of you, and I'm going to move you to another level in your life. If you've been missing out, if you're in a funk, if you're tired, if you're exhausted, if you're thinking, is this all this is in motherhood, then you need to be with us, me and my beautiful mamas, at the end of August. And I am going to also put the link so that you can check out the page and get more information about what's happening, what other mamas have said after leaving there, and the transformations that they have had in 4 months, more than some have had in a lifetime. And I would love for you to be there. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here live, for putting download in the comments so I can send this little puppy to you, this little reference sheet. And I cannot wait to see who is going to join me at the Mojo Mama Meetup in Calgary in August. Much love to you all. We'll see you here tomorrow at 4 o'clock for more of the Save Your Sanity This Summer series. Bye, everybody.